welcome to the hot seat.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, I really appreciate you joining us.
I think I'm glad to be here. I'm
well,
looking at this.
time will tell.
All right.
So how many times a day would you say you eat a chili product?
You know, at least, I'd say on average once a day. Sure, at least once a day. We have a Twister's across from my office, and it's our second office. Number 8, Supreme.
Very nice. Then I think you're in good shape.
Okay.
You're in good shape for this. Why don't we start? Let's have a little hot sauce, and then I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Sounds good.
Okay, we've got milk, or if it's not that hot, we've got water.
We're going to go straight up water.
Or you can just have nothing at all.
Nothing's fine, too.
It's really up to you. All right, this is Holy Chipotle Culinary Sauce. Let me know your thoughts.
It's good. It's good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You're going to go in again.
One more.
Okay?
There you go.
I'll go one more. You go one more, I'll go one more.
Okay.
All right. Let's say you have to drive yourself from the Frontier Restaurant to the Cottonwood Mall during rush hour. What route do you take? And what would the mayor's office do to reduce the amount of profanity that the average citizen of Albuquerque would have to use on this journey?
Let's see, I'd probably go down Central, and down to I-25 and get on Paseo. I'll go down go across the interchange that, I'm glad we got that interchange done, Paseo I-25. I spearheaded that project. So I always love going over that ramp because it's been a great relief to a lot of West Siders. And then I'd go across the river. I always love going across the river. We have an incredible bosque in our city, right in the heart of our city. I love this city and love the treasures that we have. And I'm not the type that has road rage against other people, but I'm the type that people will road rage against me sometimes, and so it's usually not me. It's usually not me road raging. Well, I try to drive good.
Sure.
So, anyways.
I want a very honest answer.
All right.
Did you feel like that was hot?
Not really. No, it was actually good.
It was good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that
good
hot.
flavor to it.
All right, so next we're gonna have some Garcia salsa.
All right.
I'm thinking you've eaten there before.
We're in Garcia's.
All right, let's get in there.
All right.
Go ahead. It's just good.
Different.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's just good,
Just
right?
downright good.
All right, it's just Albuquerque good.
That's right.
Right. Albuquerque
It
hot.
says hot on it too. It's not that hot.
Right. We are at Siembra Leadership High School, which is a local charter school. What role does the city have, if any, in supporting and overseeing our city's charter schools?
I love charter schools. I think when we could specialize and we could help students, to be able to go after their interest and what they're really fascinated by and interested in, and give them a head start on a college education with a career that they might really love. And so I think the charter schools, I think, are a great step in the right direction. But they are under APS, and the problem is they're a part of a district that's failing our kids. So here's my one bold solution, and that is that we break up APS. If I don't have any jurisdiction over APS, I don't serve on that school board. I want to get like-minded people together that believe that education should be more local. It should be closer to the people that it serves. It should be more efficient, more effective. And I think that's the right direction. I mean, there's many examples of that. Rio Rancho Public Schools was a break off of APS. It got smaller, more effective, more transparent, and closer to the people that it serves. Rio Rancho Public Schools spends half the dollar per student, half the amount of money per student than APS does. And it's one of the most successful school districts in the state.
All right. I'm going to bring it back to the hotness of the salsa, okay? We're going to go Sadies. And I want you to really take it seriously.
All right.
Have a big bite.
Sounds good. I spent a lot of time at Sadies, a lot of meetings there.
All right, well, let's go.
All right, there we go.
Okay. All right.
New chip.
New chip. That's good.
It's hard to get a whole lot in there from.
It is. You can drink
Small
out of
cups.
these. I mean, you can
That's
drink out of
fine.
these cups.
Do
It's
that.
fine. Uh-huh.
There you go.
That's what they call a salsa
It's getting a little
shot.
hotter. A salsa shot.
Good on you. What's their
Yep.
favorite embarrassing dad story?
Oh man, with my kids.
With your kids. Maybe you're not embarrassing.
Yeah. Let's see. They Snapchat me all the time, so they're always they're always, I'm always on camera even at home, and so and usually one that they have when I was doing something, and my son had me on Snapchat, and I just went off on him. I'm like, turn that off, you gotta be kidding, and so they play that back all the time. They play that to everybody.
It's like
me having a breakdown,
Excellent.
on Snapchat, and they always say they're sending it to one. So I said, don't send that to anybody, and they say they're sending it to their friend, one friend, and of course that means they're sending it to everybody.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back in. Now we're moving
Don't
to.
follow my kids on Snapchat.
I'm going to.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're on Chimayo Traditions, hot salsa. I'm gonna take a page out of the Counselor Lewis playbook, and I'm gonna hold it
Are you gonna do a salsa
way
shot?
up high,
Okay.
and I'm gonna think about doing
Okay.
a salsa shot right about when you're doing a salsa
This is
shot.
Chimayo Traditions
Yeah.
salsa. All right.
I've eaten
really
it
good.
before.
It's really good. It's different.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
How would your experience as a religious pastor transfer over into leading the city's mayoral office?
I think just understanding that people, everybody has challenges and problems, and I spent a lot of years helping struggling families, and families with teenagers that were struggling, counseling with marriages and encouraging them to work at their marriage and make things work, helping people that have lost their jobs, and encouraging them. And so just amazing how people could come together and really serve and help each other. It's about serving people. It's about helping people, and it's about knowing their needs, and knowing what motivates them and how you can serve them and help them. But also about bringing people together. In my church there were Democrats and Republicans and independents, and I knew, even as a pastor, I was also a city councilor, and people would say, I don't really agree with Dan in politics, but he's a friend of mine. He's a brother of mine, and we serve together, and those things don't matter. So I took a lot of pride in that. I served on a city council where some of my great friends are on that city council, and we come from different political parties and different religious views and things like that, and so I've been able to get a lot of things done together, do good things for the city.
All right. We're going back to the hot stuff.
All right.
Not that that was not a hot answer. Not applying that, but it's time to get back in. Next, we're gonna try some Santa Fe seasoned Chipotle. So that's gonna be right here.
Oh, this is the Chimayo. I think it's right
Did we
here.
do that
Yeah,
yet?
we did that one.
Oh, okay. So this is where it starts to get rough, Counselor.
Okay. This is good.
Gets a little rough right around
Okay.
here.
All right. This is darker. It's a little bit.
It's
different color.
a little darker. Yeah.
More molasses, I think.
What do you think?
It's really good. Yeah.
Okay.
All these are really different.
Feel free to have some milk.
No, water's. I'm good.
All right.
They're all really different. It's really good.
Is there a city other than Denver that you think offers a realistic and positive model for Albuquerque's growth and development?
Yeah, the challenge right now is that we see a lot of cities right around us. I'll mention a few right around us that are thriving, that are really doing well. They're experiencing some real good economic boom. It's where the city of Albuquerque can be, and we know that we can thrive too, and that's why I'm running. But I have a lot of family in Phoenix, and we visit there a lot, and that's a city that's been able to attract a lot of some of the businesses from California. I think like over 50 businesses that were looking to move from California. That Arizona did a pretty good job of, Phoenix did a pretty good job of showing them that was the place to locate. You get Intel that's doing a lot of expansion there right now, and Phoenix has done a good job of infrastructure, being able to be very proactive in their infrastructure. So I think we can certainly learn a lot from that. I've represented the West Side where we don't have a lot of it's new growth. So the ability to be able to be smart and intelligent and and to be proactive with roadways and infrastructure and how important that is. So we don't just have R1 housing built up everywhere, but we have good planning that's done. So I think we can learn some things there.
How's your mouth?
Not bad, actually.
No burning?
My throat now.
Right. Okay, just checking in. Just checking in with that. Do you think there's a national media bias against any political perspective? And feel free to have
Yeah, sure, there is.
a little snack while
Sure.
you talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's obvious that there is.
Talk about that.
Media bias, I mean, yeah, I mean, you just look at, yeah, there's obviously a media bias when it comes to, I think it's more nationally. I don't really experience much of that here. I think locally, I think we got a lot of good reporters, and I think, when politics is local, when the reporter that actually lives in the neighborhood that I represent, I think they think about it a little bit differently, and certainly, city of Albuquerque, 100% of what we do at City Hall should have nothing to do with partisan politics. And so I guess I'd say that that I don't experience that much here, but I think just as somebody who watches national news and watches the talk shows and things like that, I guess just like anybody else, I can sense some bias there.
Duran's has provided a salsa for us to try today. You ever go to Duran's?
All right, yeah, I love Durant's.
All right.
The pharmacy.
Let's take this
the one on
seriously.
Central's,
We only have,
their tortillas, they're amazing.
well, they're amazing. We have 5 more.
Okay.
Let's kick it up. Let's kick it up a little bit.
All right, I just took a lot.
All right. So what's your spirit animal?
Say that again?
What's your spirit animal?
My spirit animal.
This is hot.
Yeah.
Got a little hot just now.
Yeah, a little bit, a little more. That's good. My spirit animal.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would, I guess, draw the comparison here.
Sure.
I'm fascinated with coyotes. In my office, we had 5 baby coyotes that lived out in our back area there, and so they'd come. We had bay windows that go down to the floor, and so we'd have little puppy coyotes that would just walk up to our windows, and so we just watched this family of coyotes grow up. I'm fascinated with coyotes, how they can survive. I mean, they're survivors. They find a way to live, to survive, and I watch their family, the mom, and take care of those pups and watch them grow up. And I think an animal that's seen as a nuisance. I don't know what that says about me, but anyhow, that just going to be a fascinating animal. I have no comparisons to draw with me there much
You
at all.
don't.
But
That was my next question. You anticipated it.
Yeah.
What do you have in common with the coyote? Maybe a little bit wild.
Maybe I survive.
Maybe you're a
little
survivor.
wild. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. Are your kids, Madison and Jensen, concerned about climate change? And more generally, what, if anything, do they expect for you to do as mayor to help Albuquerque become as clean of an energy city as it can be?
Yeah. I think, everybody is concerned about the future, where we live and our kids. And, when I talk to my kids about it, we talk about recycling. We talk about sustainability, and making sure we're just being wise about what we use and what we have. I think they're pretty proud of the fact that we put. I was a part of putting recycling bins in every. It's amazing that Albuquerque didn't have that. Even just a few years ago, Albuquerque didn't have recycling bins at every driveway, and now we do.
Have you ever been to a restaurant that serves Marie Sharp's habanero pepper sauce?
I'm not sure. I'm sure I have, but
Let's
give it a shot.
Let's give it a shot.
All right.
All right. This is a favorite of Hillary Clinton,
Is it?
I'm told.
No, I'm choking. Almost like I'm
Do you have anything in common with Hillary Clinton now that we've tasted this salsa? Maybe that one thing.
No, that's good.
Get in there one more time.
One more time.
Just one more time.
All right. I had a lot of jokes there.
That's a little on the hot side. Do you not think so?
Not bad. That's good.
All right.
Actually, I don't think it's that hot.
All right, back to
It's
the
getting
questions.
hotter right now.
It's getting a little hotter as we talk about how it's not very hot. Have a little water. The polarization between the political right and left is as sharp as ever. What do you think it will take for the two ends of the political spectrum to stop being so blamey? And
Well,
do you think it should? Do you think it's important that end?
that what's important? That
You think it's important that that kind of polarized blamey backtalk type of dynamic ends?
yeah. I want to bring it back local. I mean, I
Please.
just kind of filter it through local, you know, and you know, not only what I've experienced, but what I believe. And the, you know, I've never served on an elected partisan position. So I was never elected as a Republican or Democrat, didn't run on that. Elected twice to the city council, running for a nonpartisan position as mayor. And again, I think 100% of what we do at City Hall should have nothing to do with partisan politics. It's about making good decisions on behalf of the city, putting the people of the city before political decisions. And I've experienced that. I'll tell you, I've experienced you know, partisan type where people have called me and said, Dan, you know, you need to basically toe a party line here. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. You know, that's not what this is about. And I've bucked my own party many times. Upset them, you know, many times, whether it be on the ART where I oppose that, a Republican mayor, the Department of Justice. You know, I participated with my other colleagues on the council, and so when it comes to partisan political parties, that you know we don't you know line up in in those ways, if you were to call it. And again, it's awkward, honestly, for me to even talk about that or mention that when it comes to the city council, when it comes to you know city issues, because it's just, I mean, the city charter and the people of the city said we do not want partisan politics to play a role in city government. So I think I took public financing both of my city council races. Now I think in a mayor's race it's not viable because it's not enough. And so you have to have another PAC, which is, you know, driven by political parties, you know, political interests. And that's legal too. But I think you got to be honest about it, though.
All right. Be honest. Does the roof of your mouth feel numb?
It's hot. It's hot. I will be
hot
honest.
there.
It's hot. Yeah,
Okay.
it still is. It's not going away.
It's not going away. I agree.
Not yet.
All right. Well, let's advance the
We got 3
ball
more to go
a little
here,
bit more here.
Okay.
And you speak a little Spanish?
Quinto. No, I don't. My wife does, and
Alright.
you know, she'll speak a little Spanish and she'll translate for me. But most of the time, she's telling jokes about me, and so people will laugh, and I don't know. So you know, I don't know.
I like that about her.
Oh yeah.
So this is called Dia de los Muertos, which means Day of the Dead.
Take the 10.
It might mean you're gonna feel dead a little later today. But no, let's give it a go. Let me hear from you.
I don't think people are going to respect that small chip that
I did not respect that.
you know, I
friendship.
didn't think you did. I felt it.
Not at all. What do you think? Are we
It's good.
still at the place in our interview where we're gonna do shots?
No, I don't think so on that one.
I was just checking in.
If you do, though,
Yep.
I will. I might. I don't know.
Okay, I'll think about it. Bernalillo County has one of the highest rates of pedestrian deaths in the nation.
Yeah.
34 pedestrians were killed in 2016. It's been said that pedestrians do not have a political voice. Do you agree with that? And what are your thoughts about how you may be able to affect a change from the mayor's office?
Yeah, I think in a couple of different ways. I mean, directly, I think it's how we do, I mean, believe it or not, it's how we do planning with walkable streets. I think we need to do a much better job of, as we do redevelopment, and, you know, along, you know, of course, Central Avenue or 4th Street, there's a lot of areas that should be very much, you know, much more walkable. And what I mean by walkable, I'm feeling that a little bit right now.
Me too. You've been talking for a
But-
remarkably long time
but by
without blowing
walkable-
your nose,
yeah.
or clearing your throat, or drinking a little
Does-
milk.
yeah.
Take a milk break.
That's all right.
Take a milk break.
Okay, I will.
Just
All right.
there you go.
There you go. All right, that's good.
That's good.
Vitamin D. Whole milk, I think.
For sure.
Yeah, so when I mean walkable, I'm talking about safer.
What do you say about a little, just a little break,
Yeah.
just in case you need one? I wasn't doing
Need
that
one?
because I thought you needed to do that.
Okay,
I just
all
wanted
right.
a little.
I did, actually.
Nope. All right. Thank you for that answer. It was a serious question. I
Sure.
appreciate your
Yeah,
serious
absolutely.
consideration. We're going to move on now to something that has the word thermonuclear in the title. It's hard to say, thermonuclear. Try it when your mouth's running. Try it.
The thermonuclear.
Oh, you nailed it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thermonuclear.
All right.
Say it 5 times. Real
Say it
fast.
5 times. Let's get in there.
All right, where are we at on
I
the
think
third?
we're.
I think we did this one. I think we did this
I think
one.
you're out of order.
That was the dead.
Counselor Lewis. All right, it's
Really?
this one.
So it's this one, okay.
So-
All right. Out of order, yes, I'm supposed to say that. You're out of order.
I'm gonna suggest you
Hit
do
the
a
gavel.
pour.
A pour?
Just a little, little pour.
Pour it on here, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because we're getting close to home,
Yeah,
and we don't want to cheat ourselves.
okay.
You know what I mean? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not feeling it yet.
I'm not either. That's
Maybe.
why I suggested the pour.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's do a question.
But right when you ask the question, I'm gonna start feeling it, or I start answering,
You might.
maybe.
Do you think that the NFL players who have taken a knee during the national anthem have disrespected the United States?
I don't know what their motives are. I
You don't?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it's out of disrespect, but I don't like seeing that, to be honest, because I think I've always been taught as a kid, and I teach my kids that when you see that flag and you hear the national anthem, you think about all the people that have given their lives for the freedom that we have in our country. So my kids stand at attention, put their hand over their heart, and think about this great country that we have. So again, I don't want to question the motives of NFL football players and why they do that. I think I certainly believe that we should stand for our flag. And then there are other ways to protest, other ways to be able to express your views that are probably more productive.
Do you think as mayor you would consider additional or new ordinances or regulations that have to do with providing a safe space for free speech and protest? Do you think that's necessary in light of things we've seen in places like Charlottesville?
A place for free speech and protests. I mean, we do have that. I mean, we have many public places, and where people can protest, and it happens often.
I guess my question, and I couldn't agree with you more,
Sure.
went more toward whether you think the mayor's office needs to consider whether we have enough protection for people to protest safely and securely, given the types of situations we've seen in other parts of our country, or whether you think we provide that now.
Yeah, I think it's about. I think there's a fine balance. I mean, between ensuring that people have the ability to be able to express themselves, and at the same time, provide order. I mean, and also protect people. I mean, sometimes it's about just protecting people and property and other people, and so the law, the basic laws. I mean, good laws are put together to. I mean, originally the first laws in our country were simply so that people wouldn't hurt each other. To keep people from hurting each other or harming property and things like that. And so we voted on a lot of laws at City Hall and ordinances, and some of them are good, and some of them have unintended consequences that limit people's, that could, possibly limit people's, rights and free speech. And when they do, they're challenged in court, or they go through another process to make sure that that those laws are fair to people and provide. Again, it's about protecting our Constitution and protecting the First Amendment, and at the same time, making sure our city's safe, and making sure that people are safe in our city, and that people feel good. And I think there's always ways we can improve on that.
It's time.
The last one?
It's the last one. I want to introduce you to Holy Jolokia.
Yeah.
Holy Jolokia is made from Indian boot jolokia chili, widely considered the hottest pepper that there is.
Okay. Let's do it.
Here, I'm ready.
All right.
All right. My hands are shaking a little bit.
All right.
Are yours a little bit?
A little nervous, yeah.
A little nervous. How's it going? You know, I've already done this tonight, so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just pacing myself, but
Okay.
I'm right behind you.
It's got some heat.
Should I do a pour, or maybe just leave it at this?
I took a pretty good amount, actually. It's good, actually. I like it.
Well, good, I like it.
Yeah.
I also like it. What's the worst job you've ever had and why?
My worst job. You know, when I was, I think, 16, I was on a road in the middle of Wyoming. I lived for a few years in near Cheyenne, Wyoming, and I worked for a construction company. I was a flagger. I had a flag telling people to slow down, and I think there was one car that would come by every hour or so, and in the middle of nowhere, and so that had to be probably the worst job, being by myself, because I have a hard time being by myself. I love, the best jobs I've had was when I've been on teams and working together with people. So I think of that kind of, but I also think back on that. I mean, I remember, middle of nowhere, I'd just talk to myself out loud, and I didn't have to worry about anybody hearing me, and I'd sing songs and try out all kinds of, songs. I don't think I've ever told that in a while. I don't even know why that came to my mind, but
I'm
was
glad
one of
you
those probably
chose me to tell.
worst job. There you go. You brought it out of me.
Yes, I did.
I can tell you the worst car. I don't even know why I thought of the worst car I ever had. During that time,
Let's go.
I had a Ford Pinto, an old Ford Pinto. I think I paid $300 for, and I sold it for about $350, but it was in pretty bad shape.
Did you make
I
money
made
on
money
that?
on it.
I
I
think you
made
made
50
money
bucks
on
on it. Yeah, had a hole in the floorboard, and it was. I don't tell people that often either.
Well,
I
Counselor
don't know why that
Lewis,
was relevant.
we're not about relevance. We're about good
Cut that.
stories, good
Yeah.
people,
All right.
hot faces.
I also had a '68 Mustang though too. Later, I made up for it. So.
Nice. Mr. Lewis, Dan Coyote Lewis, it's been a real pleasure. I want to
I'm
thank
feeling
you.
the heat of that right
I'm
now.
feeling
It
the
actually
heat of
just
that
started
too.
a few seconds
Yeah,
ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe next time we'll have a shot.
Okay.
We'll talk about it, okay?
All right. Thank you
Thanks
so much.
so much
Thank you.
for
Thank you.
being with us here, and for thanks for watching The Hot Seat by Dukes Up, produced by Data, the Digital Arts and Technology Academy, hosted by Siembra Leadership High School. I'm Rachel Higgins, and I'm appearing here with Counselor Dan Lewis, whose face is on fire.
Yeah. It's hot.
Cheers.
Good stuff. Cheers. Thank you.